I'm Bruce Freeman, author, columnist. I have a column with Scribbs Howard New Service, and it's called Ask the Small Business Professor. Actually, I had a first column with them called The Small Business Professor. I'll talk about that in a minute. I'm an adjunct professor of entrepreneurship and management at Seton University and at Kean University. I have a radio program with Smallbiz America Radio Network. How did I become an entrepreneur? I was working for a big publishing company in a management position, and the politics changed. New captain came on board, and he wanted his own lieutenants. And I was not one of his lieutenants, so I was fired from a job. What's the first thing I did is I went to back to my office. I copied my database of all my contacts. I went home and I printed all the names and addresses out. I bought 2,500 announcement cards. I went home, I sent out the announcement cards, and I was 39.5 years old, and unbeknownst to me, my wife had been planning a 40th surprise birthday party for me. Well, we get to the restaurant, I walk into the restaurant, the balloons are flying, the DJ is going, and 50 of my friends and relatives yell surprise. And I'm thinking to myself, doesn't she know I'm unemployed? The surprise is going to be 50 of my friends and relatives are going to be washing dishes for a few months to pay for this party because I can't afford it. So at the end of the party, I went up to my wife. I gave her a big kiss and a thank you. And because us guys have very little tact, ladies, what did I ask my wife? How much did it cost? You know us guys, right? How much did it cost? My wife informed me that Miss Manners would not approve of that question because you never ask how much a gift or a party costs. I said, honey, I said, at the end of the month, I'm going to be getting the credit card bill, so you might as well tell me. She said, well, Bruce, the cost of the party was approximately equal to one of our monthly mortgage payments. I said, so? She said, so what's the difference if the sheriff evicted us 30 days ago or tomorrow morning? This way, when they're carting our furniture to the curb, I'll have one hell of a story to tell them about. And my wife taught me a very important lesson. And the lesson is, you are not the definition of your last job. Bruce, you are father, you are husband, you are friend, you are community servant, but you are not the definition of your last job. I started my business with my relationships, with my contact database of 2,500 labels. And let me tell you something, whether in business or in life, your greatest asset is the relationships you built. Everything else can be purchased. That can't. Now, I am intrigued with different entrepreneurs and how people become entrepreneurs. The story that intrigued me was the story of Kathy Kearns, who's featured in our book. Kathy was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis at age 36. She was vice president of a big entertainment company, vice president of corporate communications. She was taking off time because of exacerbations and fatigue. Her first boss was okay with it. Her second boss was not okay with it. Well, she left that job and she started her own business called Style Stick. You know what a cane is. She makes fashion canes. And she has gold leaf and silver leaf cane. She has patriotic cane. I got a red, white, and blue cane from Kathy. And she started her business, Style Stick, selling these fashion canes so women can feel that they're fashionable even if they have a walking impairment. When I am interviewed on TV and radio, one of the questions I always get about the book is, Bruce, why is a guy writing about women entrepreneurs? Well, two reasons. Number one, the reality is, because I am an adjunct professor of entrepreneurship, the reality is women are starting businesses twice as fast as men. Why? Well, when my mom was growing up, a woman could only be one of two things professionally, teacher or a nurse. as women started to break the glass ceiling and get responsible corporate jobs, well, guess what? They started to outnumber men in that. I believe that there's more women in college today than there are men. I believe that's an accurate statistic. And now women are starting businesses twice as fast as men. That's the first reason. The second reason is personal. I have two daughters, 17 and 21. As I said before, my younger one just got her license yesterday. My older one is a junior in college, majoring in web design and interactive technology. Let's face it, there's a 50% divorce rate out there. You cannot depend on anyone but yourself. And I want my daughters to be as independent, as successful as I would if I were the father of two boys. And that's personal. And that's the second reason that I wrote a book about women entrepreneurs. People romanticize about being in their own business and they're not going to have a boss and they can tell their current boss where to go and how to get there. Yes, to a certain extent. But when you have clients and you have 10 clients, guess how many bosses you have? 10. It's not as romantic as you think, but I will tell you, in my particular case, owning my own PR business, I wouldn't trade it for the world. Yes, during the high-tech boom when I was specializing in high-tech PR, I was doing great. 2008 was a very rough year, but it was rough for everyone, and it's coming back a little bit right now. And I think the biggest issue for myself in being an entrepreneur is not the money. Sometimes you could have a big job and make more money. You can be an entrepreneur and come up with chicken-flavored water for dogs and make a lot of money. It's not about the money. Most entrepreneurs will tell you it's about the quality of life. I thank you for being such a gracious audience, and I've enjoyed presenting.